Is your body temperature really 31.5 degrees? Yeah, it is. And your pulse rate? 33 beats. This beautiful 24-year-old girl just turned into a 40-year-old woman. A woman almost ready for retirement. She wants a job now, just to support herself, but she never even finished her 4th year of high school. Her resume totally empty. No job experience. Nothing. And now, at 44, she's out here trying to get hired. Not married, no career. What the hell was she doing all this time? She screams. I was crying in the operating room. Frustrated and furious, she runs straight to the radio station, ready to confront a. What is all this? She yells. It's the life I lost because of your experiment. The 20 years of training. Gone. She had trusted this man. She believed in the ghost freezing experiment. But what she didn't know was that the guy she believed in, had just woken up and he was worse off than her. He went from being young and charming to being 52-year-old cold meat. And to top it all, he had lost everything. His money, his home completely broke. She cries, I didn't watch my brother grow up. I didn't get married. I didn't even get a job. I just slept in a freezer. And now I'm finally awake, 50 seconds in, and I already feel sleepy again. Both of them, just two sad old souls. Crying together, after letting out years of pain, they made a decision to face it together. They went to the TV station manager, asking for justice for the years they lost, but the station manager and Jujay's assistant tried to wiggle out of it, until Maylan pulled out the contract they signed all those years ago. They had no idea she still had it. Back then, when they wanted her to join the freezing test, she signed it quickly. Now, the manager looked like he wanted to go back in time and slap himself. But he had no choice. So Maylan began to calculate. They promised 5 million won for every 24 hours of freezing. That's 200,000 per hour. 1 year has 8,760 hours. That's 752 billion won per year. Multiply that by 20 years. That's 35.04 billion. And prices have nearly tripled since then. So Maylan calmly adjusted. I want 700 billion won. And hearing that number, both men passed out. Even if they sold the entire TV station, it wouldn't cover that. They cried, they begged, but Maylan was firm. If you don't pay, I'll go to the media. You froze to living people for 20 years. The station heads had no choice. They agreed to try raising the money. But they didn't know that return had already been photographed by paparazzi and posted online. The gold medal producer missing for 20 years had returned, and he hadn't aged a bit. The public, they went wild. Chen had no idea what was going on. He was in a good mood, just thinking of working again. And that's when he ran into his ex-fiancée. Back then, before the experiment, he thought he'd only be frozen for 24 hours. But here he was, 20 years later. And she was still single. He felt shame, guilt, joy, even love. So many emotions swirling at once. Thankfully, she forgave him. And just when they were finding each other again, Chen found his own missing person report in the archives. Turns out, Professor Wang's assistant had sunk the lab. All frozen subjects had vanished. The police searched everywhere, found nothing. Case closed. The TV station didn't even report it. They silenced the truth. Even his own fiancée never once tried to call him. And not long after he went missing, she was promoted. She hosted the station's biggest show. She traded his disappearance for her future. You knew? He asked. And you didn't even try to find me? But still, in his heart, he had written a love story for Maylan, just to meet her again. Everyone in class now uses tablets to study, but he still takes notes by hand. Everyone listens to music with Bluetooth, earbuds. He still uses cassette tapes. And when the tape unspools, he rewinds it with a pen. Old school, but oddly charming. After work, he looked for Maylan. He wanted to restart their story. Let's go back to 20 years ago. He said, what, aren't you married? I am, he said. But I want a divorce, because you came back. He's married, but his heart's still stuck on Maylan. She punches him again. The secret room always looked too familiar. And then bam, a college girl punches her professor. Maylan ends up in the police station. Chan rushes in, telling her she shouldn't act out. Her body temperature might spike, it's dangerous. But when he hears why she hit the guy, he praises her, even helps beat the guy up again. They go eat cold noodles to celebrate. Meanwhile, that jerk, he peed himself when Maylan hit him. Had to call his wife to bring new pants, and that wife. Turns out, it's Mei Lan's best friend, Shan. But he doesn't stop. He thinks Mei Lan still likes him. He proposes to his wife. She beats him and kicks him out. He ends up sleeping in the school dorms. Scrolling through his phone, he misses his rich wife, until he sees a listing. A 5-story house for rent, owned by Mei Lan's dad. He rushes to rent it while Mei Lan's away. Even sets a trap for her family. When Mei Lan returns, she sees her brother reading Freud. Only one person ever mentions Freud like that. She sneaks into the house, and there he is, her ex-boyfriend, her best friend's husband. What a nightmare, she calls Shan. There's a bird in my house, a scumbag. Let me go, he shouts. Wait a second. He's the most impatient kidnapper ever. Drives his dad's car after someone else. Ends up at the police station again. Once free, he remembers the underground garage. He finds Mei Lan and Ochan. Throws them in the freezer in the back. Calls his boss. He plans to freeze them and dump the bodies. He thinks they're dead. But when he checks, they're just groggy. And he's the one who ends up shaking. They knock him out. Ochan smiles. Says, "We'll report your kidnapping." He puts on a scarf and drives off. They walk for hours, no one in sight. The sun gets hotter. Mei Lan feels dizzy. Chan runs beside her. At the hospital, a doctor wants to check her temperature. Chan refuses. Just give her fever reducers. If the truth gets out, the station is doomed. But looking at Mei Lan lying there, he changes his mind. He goes on a national interview. Reveals the truth, he's a frozen man. He hides the TV station's involvement. Blames himself. Shockwaves explode online. Frozen human proof. Research firms rush in. NHN becomes a celebrity. He gets fever reducer sponsorships, but hides Mei Lan's existence. He gives her a bracelet that monitors temperature, tells her to wear the fever reducer at all times. His care melts her heart. The next day, they scout a new show location. They get lost in the forest. Their crew slowly disappears. The sun burns them down. Mei Lan forgets her fever reducer. They only have one dose left. She passes out. Achan hesitates, but injects her. She survives. He collapses, then rain pours from the sky. It saves him. He runs around just to cheer her up. Hero. She's in love again. This is the most beautiful way to die. She whispers, "I just wanted a kiss." Just then a tricycle shows up, rescues them, takes them back to the city. Chan turns on the radio, trying to lighten the mood. "Good song," she says. "But maybe, don't play it next time." She shyly kisses him. Apologizes later on the phone. But his answer, hidden in his painting. They speak in riddles, guessing the meaning in each other's art. They guessed 18 different things. Stayed up all night. The next morning, the company had a meeting. Director Pang suddenly starts talking about office relationships. Mei Lan sinks into her chair. That sentence might as well have had her name on it. After the meeting, she apologizes for crossing the line, and offers to deduct 150 million from her 70 billion claim as a gift to him. Chan. Happy a moment ago, suddenly goes cold. Like a woman who just realized she'd been used. He yells, "If it had been another man, would you have kissed him before dying too?"